Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to today's session, Help Wanted. We're going to learn all about our new ticketing system through TeamDynamix. If you didn't pick up on it from the songs, today's is all about the different tickets that you need to get help. So if you haven't attended a session before, I'm Amanda Pritchard. I work in the Office of Information Technology, and I'm the Microsoft 365 specialist. We offer these sessions regularly to campus to ensure that you're equipped with the latest and greatest information on technology at UT Dallas. I want to go ahead before we get started and just bring up a couple of upcoming events that we have this spring semester. We know that there's been a lot of changes to how we work, where we work, and for a lot of us too, what we do for work. And we want to be sure that you know all the technical tools that you need in your tool belt to be successful. So if you'll take a look on the screen, and we're going to also post in the chat. So if you'll navigate to the right side of your screen, you're going to see that chat there. We posted an initial message, give it a thumbs up, and we're going to send a few follow-up messages throughout today's session so that you can get hyperlinks and direct resources to some additional trainings and information. So Chow's going to be posting in just a second a link to our upcoming trainings. We want you to have access to these, and please register to attend some of our future sessions so that you can have all of that information. One that we've got coming up in 2 weeks is all of the new features in Teams. Teams is constantly evolving to meet the needs of our campus, and we're so fortunate to be able to partner with Microsoft to provide that feedback with them so that they can enhance their product. There's a couple of new tricks up their sleeves this year, and we want you to be apprised of that information. So you may think you know Teams in and out, but I challenge you to attend and check out some of the new features that are coming down the pike and see if you're going to be able to use them in your daily job. In addition, we've got Duo coming up. Some of you know that because it's what you have to constantly authenticate on, but you can also use it for personal use, and we want to give you some insight into how you can use it there. By popular demand, Advanced Microsoft Forms is also coming. This is going to go into a lot more detail of syncing forms into some of the Power platforms that Microsoft offers. So if you've used Forms at all, Microsoft Forms, to send out surveys or quizzes, this is going to build on that product and let you know how to do even further work with that. And finally, mining accessible content. This is a flashback. We've done this one before, and we're doing it again because we got such positive reviews. And that's just how you can create content that is accessible to everyone. So we go over some tips and best practices in that session so that you can know how to best present so that anyone can access your information and understand what you're trying to share. The next thing that I want to bring to your attention, I know that we've had a lot of transition with being on campus, off campus, or remote. Things like I mentioned in Teams, they're changing, they're evolving all of the time. If you feel like you could use a group to connect with, to share ideas with, to have access to that latest information and the best tips for you, that I encourage you to join our team. It's a team in Microsoft Teams. So all you have to do to get there is either scan that QR code or go to the link that's at the bottom of the screen. From there, you can join the team. There's a number of representatives there from all across the university, all sorts of different roles. You don't have to have a technical background to be a part of this. The entire purpose of this team is just to encourage and equip each other and to share those ideas and best practices with the group. So whether it's just a group discussion on what technology there is, updates that might impact you, or helpful hints, um, all of that is encompassed within that team, and we want to be able to share those resources with you. So those are my big announcements at the beginning of the session. The next thing I want to call your attention to is our agenda for today. I don't think too many of you are familiar with TeamDynamix. If you are, you're ahead of the curve. It's one of our new systems. Why don't y'all go ahead while we're getting everything queued up here, post in the chat, have you used our new ticketing system? Give me an idea as to who's already actively using it or may have submitted some tickets there. I'm going to take a peek and give y'all just a minute to respond to that question. But you're able to post those questions in there or comments to us throughout the session today. So let's go ahead and practice by letting me know if you have used our new system. And it's just a quick yes or no. So go ahead and type that in and you can submit it. But as we're getting ready for today, we're going to just give a quick introduction of our ticketing system. It's a little bit fancier than these types of tickets. We have evolved slightly, and our budget exceeds the $2 that this cost at a garage sale. So you'll be excited to see what our system can do and just the depth and the breadth of what we're able to cover and how we're able to assist campus with this system. We're also going to cover our service catalog, what it means to actually submit your ticket and be able to reach out to IT when you need help, as well as how we manage that system and send out communications back and forth. And we're going to wrap up today's session by talking about our knowledge base. This is where all the big brains in IT are able to write articles that are going to support any of your technical needs, any questions that you may have, and that self-service that comes along with it. So I'm checking in the chat just to get a quick look. Okay, I'm seeing actually more yeses than I anticipated. We're getting, Brian Sherwood said he's never seen it. Now I know you've evolved, Brian, since this, you've seen something better. So I'm seeing a lot of answers, not yet, a couple of yeses, some nos. It's okay if you haven't seen it or used it. That is exactly what today's session is about. We're going to show you how you can use it, how you can access it, and how we're here to help you. So without further ado, I am so excited to welcome today's guest speaker. Jake Scheller is the IT support specialist in the Office of Information Technology, and he has devoted his time and sacrificed a lot to be able to work at programming this new system, testing it, and working with a team to develop it and make it appropriate and relatable for our campus. He's one of the smartest people I know and incredibly talented, and I'm so excited to welcome him today for his first time in one of our Teams Tips sessions, and he's going to go over all of the content that we just covered in the agenda. So Jake, welcome. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for that introduction, Amanda. And welcome all of you. Yeah, my name is Jake Scheller. I'm actually one of the people who helped implement this system for UT Dallas. So I'm really excited to get to show you all what it can do. I'm excited that some of you actually haven't seen it before, so I'll get to show it to you for the first time. I think that's pretty cool. So I'll start with just what is TeamDynamix. You might also see Atlas. So Atlas is our name for the customer-facing side of TeamDynamix, which is the underlying system. So everything that I'm going to be covering today is going to be Atlas, the Atlas customer portal, we call it. And the Atlas customer portal, as you can see here, it's our university's centralized service catalog and knowledge base, the goal of which is to provide you the resources and assistance that you need to solve your problems. So as you can see, it's divided into two parts, the service catalog and the knowledge base. So this training is going to go, I'm going to cover the service catalog first, and that includes creating tickets. And then I'm going to pause for questions, and then I'll cover the knowledge base, and we'll pause for questions again at the end. Okay, so the Atlas Service Portal is a public website. You can access it by going to atlas.utdallas.edu. I think it's a pretty easy URL to remember. Atlas.utdallas.edu. Anybody can go to this site. Even if you don't have a UT Dallas account, you can browse the services, you can browse the knowledge base. But if you want to submit a ticket, then you up here, it'll say sign in, and you just click there, log in with your NetID and password, and you'll be signed in and you can create tickets. So like I said, I'll start off with the service catalog. So we should define what is a service. And we have a good page over here, this services A to Z. This will list every service that we offer. So a service is basically, it's a thing that we offer or support. Um, it can be, you see Adobe Creative Cloud as a service. The Arts and Technology Computer Labs is a service. It can be applications, servers, types of consultations that we offer. But I like to think of services as nouns. That's how you can think of them. And as you can see, we have a lot. So within each service, if you click on these, you can see a description. What is Adobe Creative Cloud? You can see who's eligible to use it. For Adobe Creative Cloud, that's faculty, staff, TAs, and RAs. Very few services have cost, but that's there too. And then over here on the right-hand side, these green buttons are service offerings. So I said the services are the nouns. These service offerings are the verbs that you can apply to the nouns. So for Adobe Creative Cloud, for example, if you want to submit a ticket to request us to install Adobe Creative Cloud on a UT device, this is the service offering that you would use for that. If you're having some issue with Adobe Creative Cloud, this is the service offering to use. So all of our services have at least one service offering slash quote unquote verb associated with them. Now, this page that I showed you, just a big list of all of our services. Obviously, that's not the most efficient way to search for services. So there's two other ways that I'll show you to find what kind of service you're looking for. If you don't know exactly what you're looking for, my recommendation would be from anywhere within Atlas, you're going to have this bar up here, and you can click Services, and it'll take you to this page. Our service catalog is organized hierarchically, so these are our top level categories, and if you click on them, they go into subcategories, and then within there's 3 levels. So this is the 3rd level is our services. So say we're having an issue with Microsoft Outlook, that's email. So it would probably be here in communication and collaboration, Microsoft Outlook, email, so email and calendaring, and then right here, Microsoft Outlook. Outlook is also a Microsoft 365 application, so we kind of were a little bit tricky and we put it in M365 applications and email and calendaring. If it's got the same name, it's the same service. There's no difference between those two. So yeah, Microsoft Outlook. If you do know exactly what you're looking for, the best way to search for a service, by far the quickest, again, from any page within Atlas, this little search bar is going to be up here, and you can just search Outlook, and it'll even auto-suggest. Within the little search bar, these icons here, the compass means it's a service, and the light bulb means it's a knowledge article, which will be the second half of this training. But so you could either click here, or if you press enter, it'll take you to the full results list. Microsoft Outlook right here. So, okay, so let's pretend that my Outlook just isn't opening at all. It's giving me some random error message, and I don't know what to do. So first of all, I wouldn't worry. I'll come over to atlas.utdallas.edu. Since it's an Outlook issue, I'm going to search for Outlook, right? Outlook, it'll come up here. The compass is the service. And then I should explain the difference between report an issue and general request/help. So almost every service is going to have at least these 2 service offerings, report an issue and general request/help. You saw, I'll even go back, the Creative Cloud. The Creative Cloud one has additional ones. Some services have more specific requests. that if we get a ticket where the request is request install on a utility device, I mean, we immediately know exactly what this ticket is for. But they're all going to have report an issue and general request / help. So we'll go back to Outlook here. The difference between these two is report an issue you would use if something is wrong. So obviously if Outlook isn't opening and there's an error message, something's wrong with the application. So you would click report an issue. General request / help would be more like if you just have a question. So for example, if I just want to know what's the maximum number of people I can CC on an email, you know, nothing's wrong with the application. I just need help. I have a question. So I wouldn't use report an issue in that case. I would use general request / help. And if there is if there's a specific type of request that you don't see listed, we don't have a specific one, but you still like to request something, that would be the general request part of general request / help. Again, I'll pause for questions here in a bit if I need to clarify anything about that. So, like I said, our issue is that Microsoft Outlook isn't opening. So we've searched for Outlook, we're here at the service, and now we want to submit a ticket. So I'm going to click the green button, report an issue, and that will take me to this ticket form. Because I'm logged in, and this is just a test account we have, I'm logged into Atlas, so I'm the requester on the ticket. Automatically, it'll set whoever's logged in is the requester on the ticket. And a lot of the time, we see tickets where somebody is submitting a ticket on behalf of someone else. So in that case, what you would do, you're still requesting the ticket. So you're always going to be the requester on the ticket. But you can add this other person as an additional contact. So I'm going to go ahead and add myself as an additional contact. You don't have to type in their net ID. You can just type in their name. You can type in their net ID if you want to. It'll still pull them up. And one thing I love about this is you can put in multiple people. So I'm going to put in Amanda as well. You put as many people as you want. And what this will do is when you submit a ticket and as the technicians update that ticket, as the ticket is being worked, you'll be getting notifications about that to your email. So whoever's here in additional contacts will also be receiving those email notifications so they can kind of keep track of the status of the ticket. So put myself and Amanda in as additional contacts. Subject, we'll just say Outlook isn't opening. So we'll put in this case, whoever this person is submitting a ticket on behalf of me. So in the description, just let us know. Say, my advisor, so-and-so, blah, blah, blah. Give us all the details that we need. If you want to take a screenshot and upload it as an attachment, you can do that here. Now, a lot of service offerings are only going to have these 4 fields. Some of them have these specific details sections, and all this does is just make sure that we're getting the information that we need to help you as quickly as possible. So for a Microsoft Outlook issue, it's nice for us to know who owns the device. We'll say I'm doing this on my UTD computer. The asset number, I don't know how many of you have a UTD computer, but all of them have asset numbers. If you don't know how to find the asset number on your UTD computer, you can click this little help text here, and we actually have a knowledge article on how to find your computer's asset number. This is a preview, the second half of this training. Go ahead and click that if you don't know how to find it. We'll just say it's 252. Device location, we'll say I'm working on campus in building ROC, room 2.9. All right, operating system name and version, Windows, I'm on Windows 10. Okay, so we filled all of this out. You can see none of these have the star, so they're not required, but just if you see the specific details, it does help us to fill them out. So I'm going to click request here, and that will actually put in the ticket, and then I can, this middle one, view the request I just created. So I always like to say that submitting a ticket through Atlas is like it's accomplishes the same thing as emailing us, but better, like a lot better, because you can do so many. You can pretty much manage your ticket throughout its entire life cycle just through Atlas without having to juggle a bunch of emails. You can see all of the information for all of your tickets. If you go over to services and then ticket requests, you have a list of all of the tickets that you've submitted. So we'll go back to this one. If you want to withdraw the request, you can withdraw it. If you want to add another attachment, you can add it there. And then you can see everything that you've entered. My favorite thing about this is that you can actually communicate with the technicians, again, straight from Atlas. So, normally you would put in a ticket and, we'll receive the ticket and then we'll send you a comment. We'll do some work and then we'll let you know it's done, or we need some extra information, follow up, that kind of thing. So I am going to have Amanda give me a little bit of help here. Amanda, if you want to pull up ticket 6160, just add a comment for me.
6160, absolutely. And I've got a couple of questions for you.
Certainly.
While I am pulling that up, and I'm going to ask the question first, and then I'll go ahead and jump on that ticket. But one person was asking, when you're submitting a request and you have a description and you want to say provide a little bit more details within that description of the request that you're submitting, are you able to copy and paste in that box, or do you have to type it all out in that description field?
It's just a normal text box, so you can copy and paste just like you could into a Word document.
Excellent. And then the other question was regarding when you were pulling up an individual's name, like your own name, and how you can see all of your old tickets, kind of like an IT scrapbook of your favorite memories and interactions. But when you're looking through that, the question was, how long is that information stored? How far back are people going to see their tickets and see what questions they had and what services they needed in the past?
It'll be as long as we have this system. Again, this is a new system, so you won't be able to see any tickets that you had before December 10th last year is when we launched this. But if we have this system for 5 years, then in 5 years, you'll be able to see any tickets you make today.
Thank you. Those are all the questions that I see on this section now. So I've got the ticket pulled up and I am ready to assist.
Right. Go ahead and add a comment, and then I'll also be able to show, because I added myself as an additional contact, I also want to show you all what these email notifications look like. So Amanda's working away, getting my Outlook issue solved. And of course, as the customer, if I wanted to comment first, maybe I want to add some additional information, then I could come down here and click this little comment button, add my comment there, provide us whatever extra information we might need.
Awesome, Jake. I went ahead and submitted that. I think you might need to refresh to be able to see it.
Right. So, and here we go. So you can see that, again, this is a test account. So this notified Atlas service, this will be you. And then since I am an additional contact, it also notified me. All right, so I'm here. I'm here on my ticket. Now I have my own Outlook open, so I'll drag this down here. If you have interacted with Atlas before, you may have seen this type of email. So these are Atlas notifications. You can see basically this top box here will tell you what happened on the ticket. Amanda added this comment, and she just said, let's do a screen share to just preview what the problem is. If you get these emails, what I would recommend doing is click View in Atlas portal, and that will pull up this page in the Atlas portal. And then you can see the other information on the ticket. You can reply to this email. And if you reply to this email, it'll basically accomplish the same thing as coming over here and clicking comment. You just get a little bit more granularity if you come over here. So let's say, sure, unavailable. Right, save that. And that is going to notify Amanda. If this ticket was assigned to the OIT service desk, it would notify us. If it was assigned to, whatever department, whatever team, whoever sent the comment, it'll notify the right person that you've replied to their ticket, or you've replied to their comment. Okay, so let's say that Amanda and I have done our screen share. The issue is all resolved and good to go. Amanda, could you go ahead and resolve the ticket? And then I'll show everybody what the resolve notification looks like.
On it, just one moment.
All right.
Okay, ticket has been resolved. You should be able to refresh to see that.
All right, and I do. Over here, you can see the ticket status is set to resolved. And in my Outlook, I have gotten an email here. Amanda changed status from new to resolved and says the ticket is closed. So hopefully now you can see what I mean by you can interact with the ticket throughout its entire life cycle. I never even had to open Outlook in order to communicate with the technicians who are solving my problem. And I think that's great. So that is everything that I had regarding the service catalog. Before I move on to the knowledge base, I just want to pause for questions and see if anybody has anything that I can help them with what I've covered so far.
Hey, Jake, we do have a couple of quick questions and probably one point that we just need to be sure to clarify on. Somebody brought up the excellent question of when we switched over to this system, was there any type of announcements or communications sent out about this? And we did send out a few campus-wide emails and some information about it. But I know it still looks different, and the emails that you're receiving look a little bit different, which is one of the reasons why we wanted to offer this session today, just so that you could be familiar with what it looks like and what the appearance is of these. Jake, when was our official launch and switch over to this? I know it was in December, but do you remember the date?
Official launch was December 10th.
Okay, so still relatively new. So that's probably why it looks unfamiliar to a lot of people. It was right before the break, and we're still getting used to this. So great question. And I see, we've got more questions coming in. Cindy wants to know if she is submitting a ticket, right? We know our system, Jake. We know the services that we offer. So we're kind of at an unfair advantage. But let's say they're requesting something in Outlook and really it should have gone to a different avenue. It should have been a different service. If somebody requests it and puts it in the wrong category, are they just not going to receive assistance because they didn't request it correctly? Or what happens if you select something and it's not quite the right category?
That's a great question. No, just do your best, pick whatever you think is relevant, and when the technical team receives the ticket, if they think it's better classified as something else, they'll just change it. You'll still be able to see the ticket in your ticket requests. You'll just see that the service and service offering have changed. It's something we do all the time, is reclassifying tickets, so don't worry about it.
Yeah, I have to say that even I have been guilty of that. And I work in IT and I'm familiar with our services. It's very easy to to get overwhelmed by the amount that is offered and the ways that there can be support. So that is something that we can transfer easily. Another great question that's coming in is, what is the time frame, right? If they are to submit a ticket or a request for help. And I know that that's a very generalized question, but is there a way that if it's an urgent request or if it's making an impact to an entire department, if a process isn't working, how are they able to let us know that so that it can be pushed to kind of to the forefront if it is that impacting a large area?
Hmm. I would say for IT related tickets, and specifically tickets that are handled by the OIT help desk, uh, absolutely the best way to get urgent assistance is to call us or use our web chat feature. And a lot of other departments also have phone numbers. I would say, like I said earlier, the Atlas portal, you can think of it as kind of an upgraded version of emailing us. So you wouldn't really email someone if you really need urgent assistance. Um, Obviously, with that said, we do work through our queues as quickly as possible. But by calling us, you can ensure that if it is something, there's an outage or something, that we can get that escalated without having to wait for the ticket to get to the front of our queue, if that makes sense.
Yes, no, that's perfect. And I think a lot of that too, just to understand that time sensitivity. I know I get requests sometimes for trainings or for outreach related materials, and having an idea of what your time needs are also helps us to prioritize those tickets that are coming in and how quickly we need to respond and what actions need to be taken. So this system is as good as it is as we use it, and as we use the tools within it to communicate those needs. I have one more question in the queue from Caleb, and that's one I'm going to go ahead and send you a message on, but it's just asking, it's a Teams voice question, so that's one thing that we can search up in there. We've had a couple of questions on Teams voice particularly, just about a phone number. So Jake, I'll handle that one, and I'll let you go ahead and continue on. There's no other questions after that.
All right, sounds good. Um, One thing that I do want to say here in the middle is, what if you have problems using Atlas? What if you're here on our website on atlas.utls.edu, and you either run into a problem or you just need help with it? Um, Remember this, because this is important. We actually have a service for Atlas. So if you go here, search Atlas, here's the service. Just like every other service, explanatory text. And if you run into a bug, feel free to submit a report an issue for Atlas. If you just need help, submit a report an issue for Atlas. If you would like us to improve something, if you have a suggestion, you can request new development or improvement. Uh, just remember that we have this service here, and if you submit these tickets, it'll go straight to the team responsible for developing and managing Atlas, and we'll be able to get you assistance. Okay, so like I said, now I'm going to move on to the knowledge base, the second major component of the Atlas service portal. And the knowledge base, I think it's a little bit easier to understand. Everyone pretty much knows what a knowledge article is, right? We have actually over 500 knowledge articles. Some of them are kind of short like this, some of them are long. But the whole goal of this is that if you have a question, the first place you turn, even before submitting a ticket, is log into Atlas and search the knowledge base. Actually, I said log in. You don't even have to log in to search the knowledge base. You can use the knowledge base signed out. So let's say that I'm getting error. To send sharing message. I really love this autocomplete feature here. All right, so this is I'm pretend that I'm in a situation where I'm getting this random error message in Outlook. Come here to Atlas, search the error message. We might have a knowledge article on it. And here, so you can read through the knowledge article. We've got screenshots, and it'll tell you how to fix your issue. What if I want to install the VPN? I can search VPN, and we actually have a lot of VPN articles, so maybe the dropdown isn't as helpful in this case. So I click enter, and I come here. Here's the service. By the way, it returns services and knowledge articles. So if I wanted to report an issue with the VPN, here I can do that. Say I'm on a Mac, so here's the knowledge article, installing and connecting on a Mac. Let it load for a second. Yeah, so like I said, over 500 of these knowledge articles for just a ton of different questions that you might have. The knowledge base is organized the same way as the service catalog. So the hierarchy, the structure is pretty much the same, meaning if I wanted to see knowledge articles that relate to Microsoft Outlook, I would come to the same place. Over here, email and calendaring, Microsoft Outlook. All right, so you can see, obviously, email is one of our most searched for terms. So we've got a lot of these things. I wanted to see VPN. VPN would be network, virtual private network, right? And then global protect. So here's all of our VPN articles. And yeah, so, but again, instead of, hunting for, okay, what's the first level? What's the second level? Just use the search. It's so much easier to just use the search to get to whatever articles you're looking for. You can also, so let's go back to the VPN one. You can also favorite a knowledge article. If you have one that you keep coming back to, over here on the side, you can click add to favorites, and that will show up over here in your My Favorites menu. My Favorites. We can remove it if you want to. So yeah, this is good. I have a lot of these favorites that I keep coming back to. So feel free to utilize that feature. What if you're here on a knowledge article and you're reading through it and you know you're at the right place, but you're not quite seeing what you want to see with the article, or you saw exactly what you want to see with the article. You can come down here and leave feedback for us. So say that I'm looking for something that I couldn't find it here. I couldn't find the information in this article. Then I can leave a comment saying, find info on how to. All right, submit this feedback. This is not public feedback. This feedback will notify whatever internal team is responsible for this article, and it just lets us know that there's something that we need to add or change or make more clear with this article. It's basically just an avenue for you to communicate with us any way that we could improve the article to help you out. And obviously, as always, you saw there was a yes, this was helpful button. If you think an article is great, we would really appreciate it. Just let us know that you found exactly what you were looking for. Let me check my notes, make sure that I covered everything I wanted to with the knowledge base. Like I said, it's shorter than the ticketing section was, and I think I did.
I had one quick question for you, Jake.
Yeah, go ahead.
One thing that we had talked about previously as well was while we try to write these articles and we try to have all of the resources that you might need and might be requested, there's times that new services become available. The one I can think of off the top of my head is Teams Live. That was something that was launched with, about a year and a half ago. We hadn't really used it as a campus before. We didn't really know how to use it right away. So what if there's a service such as Teams Live that's new or newish, and we don't necessarily have an article already on it? What would a user do? How could they get more information so that something could be created to help them utilize that service and be more familiar with it?
If we have, so like I said, the knowledge base structure mirrors the services structure. So if we have a service for it, which we try to add the services as soon as whatever the thing is launches or becomes available. So in most cases, we'll have a service, but if we don't have a knowledge article for it, then feel free to submit a general request for that service and ask us to add a knowledge article for it. If we don't have a service for it, then just pick a similar service, or email us or call us, and we'll be happy to help you out there.
Awesome, thank you. I'm scanning the chat right now, just looking for any other questions. And if you do have them, please submit them. I know we're coming to the top of our time here, so please submit those into the Q&A chat, and we'll be able to respond to those while we're still live. Jake, was there anything else that we missed that you wanted to cover, or did we hit all of the top information?
Yeah, while we're waiting for questions to come in, I just wanted to say one thing in closing. Coming back to this word that I said right at the beginning, in our definition of Atlas, it's our centralized service catalog. So a lot of the stuff that I've been showing you today are IT specific, but our vision for Atlas is for it to be, is for it to encompass many different departments on campus. We actually, right now, we have the graduation help desk and parts of student affairs have non-IT related services that people can go in and request. And we'd really love to expand that so that if a student needs to request something of the bursar's office, we'd love to have them in here. Of the registrar, we'd love to have them in here. The service catalog and the knowledge base. So if I come up here in the search bar and I want to know, I have a question about tuition, our long-term vision is for all of these different departments to have a knowledge base within Atlas. So you can just come here, have it be your one-stop shop. So if any of these departments want to get in touch with us and start a consultation about adding your stuff to Atlas, we would be more than willing to help you out with that. And with that said, that is all for all the content that I had. Amanda, are there any questions that have come in yet?
I don't see any others, so I'll go ahead and wrap up for us today. Thank you all for attending. I hope this was useful information. I know when I first started in IT and was learning the entire system that it was such a valuable resource to see this warehouse of information and to get that insider perspective of how to use it, how to utilize it. I did want to bring up a couple of points. Jake didn't mention this one little thing that I think is really important, and that's feedback. When you request a service, part of that ticketing, once that issue is resolved, you have the opportunity to leave feedback on that ticket. And what that's going to do is going to share with us how we did, how we could improve services, or what you thought. We all strive to provide campus with the best support possible. And whether we hit that mark or not, we want you to be able to share that with us. And in addition, we want you to be able to share that with us on these sessions that we provide you. So whether it's completing it in the service ticket or in our survey today, please share with us your thoughts. We've included a QR code as well as a short URL that's going to get posted in the chat in just a moment. So if you prefer to click on that rather than open up your camera on your phone and scan, you can access it by either option there. But we just have a quick 4-question survey, and that just allows us to kind of get a pulse on how we're doing, what other information that you would like us to cover, and how we can better partner with you to really elevate the resources and the skills that our university has so we can make an optimal impact on students and on campus. So we're going to leave that up. I'm going to jump back because I believe I saw a few questions pop in, so I'm going to see. Okay, perfect. They're just saying thanks. So I think that's all for today. Jake, thank you so much for sharing your skills and your knowledge and your expertise. We really value the incredible contributions that you make to IT and to campus, and we appreciate you being part of the team. For everyone else, thank you for joining. If you ever need anything, just remember we are here to help.